Welcome to The Source with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry, and co-host Kobe Owens. News all across the nation. The Source. Stay in the loop in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Work together for change in the community. A call to action to find the resources. The Source, the latest in news.
Good evening. This is Dr. Curry.
This is Kobe Owens.
And welcome to The Source. And before we get started, we want to say we pray and trust that you had a wonderful Merry Christmas as we have celebrated the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And we are sitting back celebrating continuously. Kobe, we have some serious situation that occurred this weekend. It's really troubling during this season when we should be doing more of giving and exchanging of gifts. But just last I think it was on Tuesday, where we had a gentleman. He had been in the DMV, and he, as he was leaving, I'm hearing. I don't know all the details. You know way more information than I know. He shot one of the state trooper, and some things happened. Just run us through what you know.
Yeah. So a little after 2 p.m. on December 23rd, 2025, 2 days before Christmas, a state trooper was sitting at the front desk at the DMV. If you've been to the one in Minkledale, right outside of Wilmington, you know, you come in, you get a ticket, then you go to either side. The early reports is that the gunman, who was 44 years old, named Avery Young, was at the counter, got his ticket, was serviced at the desk.
Right.
So when they call your number up, you go up, you tell them what needs to be done. And then as he was leaving, I guess there was some type of dispute. He walked up behind the state trooper and shot him in the back of the head. As the state trooper fell, he pushed the DMV, the older DMV employee out the way, and was shot again as, I guess, Mr. Young was trying to shoot her. He took the shot in his chest.
Oh, wow.
That officer ended up passing away. He was 34 years old. His name is Matthew Ty Snook. Very well known in the wrestling world. He wrestled for St. Mark's. He was a senior when I was a freshman at Sally's.
So you know of him?
I knew of him. I only saw him
because
a few
of
times.
The sports that he was in. Yeah. Okay.
But I was I covered the winter sports, so I would film the wrestling matches, and of course, Sally St. Mark's biggest rivalry.
Yeah.
But after that, a county cop was able to return fire and killed the shooter, Avery Young. Other people were injured due to gun-related incidents. There was a 40-year-old woman who suffered a few injuries from falling while running, and then a 35-year-old woman who was treated on site, not taken to the hospital for shortness of breath from running while that was happening. A second state trooper was evacuated again for a non-gunshot related injury, but was evaluated on scene as well too. So again, it was a scary sight. My phone was blowing up throughout the incident. I was driving past as the cops were responding, and I was on 95 when the ambulance carrying the officer who was shot in the head came by. Later that evening, I joined the Wilmington Police and Wilmington Fire Department, along with other first responders from Newcastle County, the county police, the state police, as they did a hero salute as they brought his body from Christiana Hospital to the state medical examiner's office, which is in Wilmington. So they shut down 95 North and did a slow ride up. All the it looked like the entire state police
Yes,
force was out. Their motorcycles escorted in, and then the trucks just kept coming. They completely shut down Merlin Ave, both directions, and brought the body in. The governor joined, joined the family as they took the body in to the medical examiner.
I did see that we were represented from every level. From Wilmington, I saw you there, and from the county. I was able to see. I think Cook is a state. He's state,
He's state,
and
yeah.
so is Darius. I saw him there. He was state. And I saw the county executive was there.
Yeah, Marcus.
And also the governor. Reason why I say that is because this season, it's one refreshing to know that the politicians and all those who represent us was right on the spot, and they were doing all they can. I saw all the responses from our national people as it relates to our Senator Coons and also Blunt Rochester. There was a whole lot of responses, but there are some things that as we use this as a time to talk about it a little bit, we don't know the details. So a lot of what we are sharing now is what we assume or may have heard. How is it that a person, if he came in, received his ticket, gone to his seat until he was called, his number was called, he was serviced, then he leaving, and now he do you think something happened? Now this is not you giving the facts of the situation. Something had to have happened for him to sit there and stew in it.
Yeah.
And then leave, because it was targeted in that no one else he tried to shoot.
Right.
That was the first question I wanted to have. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I am really interested in knowing more about the backstory. But I will say this. Everyone jokes about the DMV and it being stressful and overwhelming and everything. Again, it could have been anything. He could have been not able to renew his license, or found out, there was fines out for him or something. I don't know. There's just so many options, right? He could have had a dispute with someone at the counter, and just taking that rage out. It's sad, because one, it is right before the holiday time. I know he was Catholic, so I know they celebrated Christmas. Snook.
Oh, the
officer.
Yes.
Had a 9-month old baby.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Now leaves a widow and a child without a father. So again, it's no reasoning for anything like this to happen. But again, I know years ago they used to have metal detectors, as you.
That was going to be my second question.
And now that I think back to it, I haven't seen those in a while.
I'm not sure if I haven't seen them. Question is, because I think I have. Maybe I haven't. I can't remember too well. But I'm always aware that it is a state building, so
correct.
You're not allowed to bring in firearms. So I don't think about bringing any arms on with me. However, if there's no metal detectors there, and if it is, that's even worse. But if there are none, do you think that needs to happen?
Oh yeah. I think. Well, at the end of the day, it's not just about the safety of the individuals who are going in and out of the DMV. It's also for the safety of the employees as well too. And it's not just the one in Manquildale. It's all of them probably need it. Now I do know that they do have metal detectors in the Dover one.
I think all of them do, to be honest with you. It's going to be interesting to find out. All this is going to come out. But I think, and I would hate to believe they got it in the Dover and don't have it everywhere else. I mean, that would be a problem for me too.
Well, Dover one it's a little more, it's not just a state agency. They have some federal that operate out of there as well too. I believe ATF and immigration also operate out of there. That's one of the places you can go to do your biometrics for like green card and check-in and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, it needs to be all around.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna stand by, and we're going to try to get more information on that, because that is just heart work wrenching when you have he was working overtime, because I'm sure you
It's holiday
you
time.
said it's Christmas. No, Christmas. I'm sorry. You said he was Catholic. Catholics celebrate Christmas too,
Yes.
because they're very big on the birth of Mary. But he was probably just trying to make sure ends meet, and now he's tragically removed from us. A woman is now no longer with her husband. A child is no longer along with their father, and I feel so. My heart is out to them. And then for the 44-year-old gentleman who did this, do we have any bio data on him? Is he from Wilmington? Is he from Newcastle? Is he from out of state? Is he a foreigner?
They haven't released his photo or anything. They haven't released where he's from. They're still doing an investigation. Both the state police and DOJ are doing their investigation now of the situation. But there is rumor that he is a African-American man.
Okay, there's rumor of that.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to make sure we say things like that until we get some facts in. And what could have happened? 44 years old. I mean, you're not in the prime. Because you are in the prime of your life, and for to sit and stew through something and then go and react the way they did. Mental health is very much need to be addressed as well. I'm not going to always say that everything is a result of mental health, but this was. You came in, you got serviced.
Yeah.
And then you leave with this type of activity. We really need to start putting a little bit more attention and emphasis on it. I want to try to turn our attention for just a few minutes to another item that's a little bit lighter. Delaware State is doing a very good job in a lot of areas of their educational pursuit for our young people, and I'm very impressed with Tony Allen and all the things that he's doing there. I saw that DeSean Jackson signed a new deal.
Yeah.
I thought, what was it? Didn't he already sign a deal?
So he was on a 1-year contract
with
DSU when they brought him in to test the waters. And again, at the very beginning of the season, people were very skeptical of DeSean Jackson because they saw him as the flashy player when he was playing in the NFL, but didn't understand how serious he took the game and studying and understanding plays. He came in and he turned Del State's football team, did a complete 180.
Yeah.
And now he has signed a extension after one of the most successful years in recent memory. The first winning season since 2012 for the Hornets. So again, this deal is good through the 2028 season. Right. So 2-year extension.
Yeah, and whether those who he brought in, he won't really be able to see them graduate if he decides to leave, because if he continues to do what he's done this year,
right,
the big dogs, the big schools are going to be grabbing at him. A good bridgeway to something better. But I hope that that Del State continue to do very well, and I'm glad they were able to have the money. Because I'm told one of the things I discovered is that they're trying to do this $40 million new stadium, and 25 of the $40 million they have already raised with his presence. So it is bringing some benefits to Delaware State. People are saying, hey, let's think about Delaware State, where the University of Delaware has always gotten everything. Now it seems like there's some shifting going on where we'll be able to see some more things going to Delaware State University, which I'm very happy for. And hats off to DeSean Jackson, because, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was a little skeptical too. Let's just be honest. I mean, I thought he was a great guy. I loved him as a player, but to understand plays and know how to turn a program around to the level that he did, that was unique. Go ahead.
And just to give some highlights, right? So this season alone, they had an 8-4 record. They lost at the MEAC championship, the unofficial MEAC championship, to South Carolina. But the team also won the Battle of the Legends, which was hosted at the Lincoln Financial, the Philadelphia Eagles home stadium. They played in front of a record crowd of 47,000 individuals. That also included 12,000 high school students from both Pennsylvania, Philly, in the Delaware areas, right? That again gets kids excited about HBCU, seeing that you can play in a big stadium like that. That also excites the players, it excites the bands on both sides, right? 24 million social media impressions from that game alone, right? It gave exposure to HBCUs across this nation. Dr. Tony Allen and the school have not only announced that they're investing in a stadium, which the record at that stadium is still held by Salesian up in Middletown 2013
sure you're
for the record turnout my senior year in the championship. But they're building a new stadium, right? They are looking to invest $125 million in transforming all their athletics down there, right? That's stadium, practice, all of it, right? The indoor training facility plus the stadium is a $50 million cost, right? They're halfway there already. So DeSean Jackson's presence has helped. His celebrity has also brought attention. And I think some of the other coaches he's brought in. I know the attention's on him mainly, but some of the other NFL caliber coaches that he has brought in has really helped reshape that program. And it helps with recruitment as well, too. When you build a better football program, you bring in more funds. And I know people, they always put money towards athletics. Football, I can just speak for high school, right? Actually, I can speak for both Sally's and West Virginia. The money and the revenue that we bring in from our athletics for football and athletics for in both at Sally's and at West Virginia was enough to pay for all the other sports. If they did not bring in a dime.
And that's normal.
So of course, schools are gonna put in more money there, right? But this is why it's so important to make sure that it's a robust funding opportunity. So again, I'm happy to see Del State finally moving in this direction. I'm gonna be honest, it is extremely sad that it took having to bring in a celebrity coach for alumni to want to give more. But again, I think as they try to build those donor relations with those alumni, things will get better, and hopefully their endowment funding grows.
But I think Delaware State tried, but no one wanted to invest that type of money until Tony got there.
That's true too.
I will give DeLauder credit. I mean, he brought in some good coaches during his era. I happen to know the football coach during his era, and the basketball coach who did MEAC a couple times. But you can't keep good people on shoestring budgets. You can, especially now with people can go to any school they want to go to and get more money. So I'm glad that they decided to make the concerted effort, and that we thought out of the box and said, you know what, let's just invest money in our athletics program, and it is working in our favor, and I'm very grateful for that. And hats off to Delaware State, and whatever he gets, I'm sure he deserves it as it relates to the finances that he will have to enrich himself as well as that school, because he brought in some good money. I want to turn our attention one more time to the Reading Consortium, because that's the last thing I want to talk about in this segment before we get to the Kobe Corner. It was almost nearly a unanimous decision to go ahead and move forward and go with the one school district. Now, people were saying to me, Kobe, Pastor Curry, you supported the Wilmington children going into this very large district, and they're going to be lost. Now, before I ask you the question I'm going to ask you, I want to make that clear to all of you who want to know why did I support the Northern Newcastle County 1 district. And here is my reason. I believe that when we do the workout, and I'm going to be at every meeting and I'm going to be voicing my opinion, Wilmington will have a seat at the table to talk about not so much a new school district in Wilmington, but an office or a concentration where Wilmington students will be thought of in every aspect of planning. In Philadelphia, you don't call it district; they call it district office. So somewhat of that model where we won't be like Brandywine, for example. They don't want our children. They're going to keep suspending our children. They're going to keep throwing our children out the door. So to put them in a Brandywine school district is crazy. But Brandywine has an opportunity now to have a Brandywine district where the district office, where that office runs the things for that locale. I think it can work. I know it can work. But we got to focus in on our Wilmington children. They are so far behind. 45 in the nation.
Mhm.
How is that so? With a state as small as we are, and we're not really that liberal state.
Right.
So people think, well, that's a liberal state. Nah, we're pretty much in that center. And I'm really shocked that people were so upset. Some of the people were so upset that we were going to go to a larger district. But I believe there could be some work around that. My question to you is, what do you think some of the things that you're going to be looking for as a city council person? What are some of the things you're going to be really looking to make sure happen?
You was about to give me a promotion there.
No. But that could have been a prophecy. We don't know. Mr. President.
But I think one of the things is the full breakdown of how the district will be structured. So using a carve out so that they can focus in with additional resources and additional financial support as well too for those high need, low performing areas, right? Mm-hmm. So you break it down by school, really. Mm-hmm. You look at currently in Brandywine School District, the two lowest performing schools are PS and Harlan. Mm-hmm. You look at the lowest performing schools in Red Clay. It's Shortridge, it's Warner Elementary, mm-hmm. right? And then Lewis isn't too far behind it, right? So every school in the current 3 school districts that operate in the city, their inner city schools are the worst, right? Why is that? So the Neighborhood Schools Act, which came into play, which again, let our kids be bussed out, but not other kids be bussed in. Mm-hmm. Resources were then reconfigured. Brandywine School District, again, focused on building new Lancashire, building new fixing up Forward, fixing up Crawcroft. Yeah, they did PS, but that's only because they had to retrofit it for a different grade level now. Harlan has not seen upgrades. Red Clay has over $127 million in upgrades that are needed. A lot of that's in the inner city, mm-hmm. right? In those 3 city schools. So again, 4 city schools. So I want to see how they will dedicate their resources mm-hmm. to the classroom. Mm-hmm. I could care less for any more superintendents, deputy superintendents. No offense to any of them. Mm-hmm. But y'all are making too much money for our kids to still be at this
and that's the
grade point.
That's right. That's the key.
Now, do we need to fix up some of the buildings? Yeah. Do we need to build new schools? Probably not, because that money could better be used. And I'll say this again. The man who the school is named after was a legend. Mm-hmm. But the school itself, spending what? Almost $52 million on a new school building without a principal, without any academic support added, without any additional paras added, without any additional wraparound services added, those kids are still failing.
That's right.
You look at their grades, it's flatline. They haven't increased with a new building. But all those elected officials, those state officials, they were there for the ribbon cutting and clapping, and this is great. Yeah, yay, yay. Mm-hmm. Y'all are failing the kids too.
Mm-hmm. And our job has to be, Kobe, for every step to report back to our community like we were doing that no, they're not going to do this, therefore it's going to fail. Yeah. We supported the whole notion of one district because we have belief that they're going to concentrate on the classrooms. Matter of fact, that's going to become the new sermon. Concentrate on the classrooms. Our children are just as bright, just as strong, and their intellectual curiosity is just as good as any others when they are exposed and given the right sources.
Too curious, right? Too distracted, right?
Okay.
Let's say the classes they're in really aren't. It's too easy for them, so they finish early. Now they sit there, they play around. Oh, you're misbehaving. Go to the principal's office. You get suspended. You get detention. When I see the same thing happen to their white counterparts, Oh, well, let's evaluate them to see if they need to move up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put them in a harder class so that they're more
That's the key.
challenged.
Yeah.
Oh, they're acting out, they're talking back. Let's go to the meditation corner. And the reason why I keep bringing that up is because they literally have meditation corners. And you have a student who said to their parents, I don't get sent to the meditation corner. I get sent to the principal's office. Why? We were joking together.
Mm-hmm.
They were both cutting up. One gets meditation, one gets detention. Make it make sense.
Right. And that's why that one district where we got one vision, all equal, well, resources based on need.
Mm-hmm.
Not based on everybody is equal in this situation because there's not as much need in one area that is going to be in others. And I think that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do, for those of you who are watching us, we're definitely going to be bringing you updates as we go to these meetings, as we talk, and we're not going to be quiet. We're going to be very loud. And the people who are trying to mess up the system, we're going to call them out. That's what we're going to do, because we're not going to play the game. We may not sit on the committee, but they're going to wish we were, because maybe we'd have to be a little bit more silent. But I want to make sure that our young people are taken care of. Wilmington deserves better. They can do better if they're given the right resources. And I'm going to keep saying it until I'm done. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come right back, we're going to come back with the Kobe's Corner. We'll be right back.
Smiles are powerful. A simple smile can light up a whole room. And for 25 years, Smile Train has been lighting up the world with smiles. And each smile marks a step towards a brighter future. As the world's largest cleft lip and palate charity, Smile Train has supported more than 2 million life-changing cleft surgeries in over 90 countries, leaving a legacy of resilience, joy, and beaming smiles for generations of children. To learn more about cleft lips and palates and how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community all over the world, please visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, lighting up the world with smiles for 25 years.
Not today.
I'm here. You can tell me anything.
I see you. We're in this together.
Breakthroughs are happening.
Treatments are evolving.
The stats can change.
Society can change.
We can all say, not today.
Not today.
Not today. Not today. Not today.
If we're together, bound to be better. When we're together.
Join us live for our weekly worship. Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
How you doing, community? I'm Alexander Hackett, and I'm here today to talk about Community Staffing Agency. I am the owner of an educational staffing firm. And what we do is we staff all the schools in Delaware with substitute teachers, paraprofessionals, janitorial, and even substitute nurse. So if you have a school and you need our services, please contact me. But also, if you're in the community right now and you're looking for a job, please find me. And the way you can find me is by visiting communitystaffinagency.com, but also get into my direct line, 302-252-8982. Please contact me, please reach out. If you need assistance with your school or if you're looking to get into school, Community Staffing Agency is the place to be.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
See you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
And we're back. Kobe, what's going on with the Kobe Corner?
Yeah, so most of my stuff is federal this today, but that's because everyone has officially gone on holiday break. City council's done, county council's done, and the state's been out since June. They've only had to come back a few days. They get it nice. No, I'm just joking, but
you ain't joking.
But I wanted to talk about the Trump administration. So they are pushing for one of the largest tax breaks in American history. We've already seen some of it with the rewrite, which led to Delaware having to decouple from the federal tax code to try to bring that money back into Delaware. We saw in 2017 the tax breaks were just expired in 2025. But on the other end, to pay for those tax breaks, Trump is saying that student loan borrowers have to pay their money back. And starting January 7th, 2026, they will be starting garnishing wages for individuals, for student loan borrowers who have current debt that is in default. Again, this is going to be a hit to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And this goes, it's been a few years since the payments have been paused since COVID, but they can garnish up to 15% of one's wages, and it goes until they get all the money back. So, pay attention, check the website to see if you still owe. And how much you owe.
You have to be behind for this to happen, or you just owe? Because some people have been utilizing effectively all the delays that were put in. This could be deferred, this could be deferred. That is not what they're talking about. They're talking about if it wasn't deferred and you have not paid.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is about 38% of borrowers right now.
Do you know I've been out of school almost 25 years, 26 years, and I'm still paying back student loans. It's really interesting.
It's a cash cow.
Yeah.
It's honestly, you're never going to catch up, especially because your wages in your day job for those first few years out of college are not adding up to what you need to pay. So you just get hit with more interest and more interest. You've probably paid off the principal. It's all the interest that you got to pay now. So more than 5 million borrowers are in default throughout the nation. Again, that's 38% of borrowers.
He's going to be shocked to know some of them are his people. They always think it's always the poor black or poor people of color who are the ones that's having problems, although some of them are. But he's going to be shocked like he's going to do when you talk about your ACA. But I'll leave it there till you get there.
And the NAACP has been raising this as a huge issue, mainly because not saying that black people default at a higher rate, but black student loan borrowers face significant barriers, which means we usually see higher borrowing rates,
interest rates, yeah.
And greater debt accumulation because of that, right? So again, it makes it harder. It increases the difficulty to repay what you've borrowed. So again, it's going to have a huge impact on the community. So again, if you know anyone who is in that situation, try to work with them, try to get them help, because it's going to start in the new year. Now, there are several African Americans who are running for statewide office throughout this nation as Republican candidates. Now, all of them have held elected office. You have John James, who ran for U.S. Senate twice, lost, and then represents Michigan's 10th district in Congress. You have David Cameron, the Black former Attorney General of Kentucky, who most notably mishandled the Breonna Taylor case. Then you have Byron Daniels, who some people say we look alike, who is a representative from Florida, who is running for governor down there. And then lastly, you have Wesley Hunt, who is the most recent to jump into a race, running for U.S. Senate in Texas in that three-way primary. And they are, again, these have been strong African-American voices for Donald Trump. They campaigned in Black communities for him. They have all one thing in common with their spouse, blonde hair, I'll say. But they are shocked at the lack of support that they're getting from the MAGA wing of the party.
Really?
The Make America Great Again wing of the party. And maybe they don't understand when they say Make America Great Again. The best time for most of them and their families were when their ancestors were still in chains. Because why have to pay a minimum wage when you had free labor to do all your work? But again, Byron Daniels is the only one, Donalds in Florida is the only one to have received an official endorsement from Trump. But he is complaining that Trump has not done any fundraising for him, has not pushed him on social media, and has not asked his base to support him full out. He said he supported him, but people in the Donalds camp is saying it was more of they did not want Ron DeSantis's wife, Casey DeSantis, to jump in the race. She is very popular as a first lady down in Florida, and Trump does not like Ron DeSantis now because little Ron ran against him in a primary.
Nothing goes. But let's go back to these African American Republicans who are shocked, who are mesmerized.
Just can't believe it.
What are they shocked about?
They are shocked because they have been dedicated foot soldiers for the
What
Trump
are they shocked
movement.
about?
That
what are they shocked about? You
supported.
cannot give me an answer because Trump's whole notion is based on one way. It is not reciprocated. You support me. I don't need to support you. And if they thought that he was their friend, good for them. I said it. I'm here to represent it. I ain't taking it back. You should know when people are using you. What he's done to the people that halfway really, look at what he did to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is that her name?
Yep.
Look at what he did to her. That woman would die supporting him, jump in front of a bullet. And then she disagreed because of what's going on with the Epstein case and decided to vote in favor. He just dropped her. I'm like, how does that happen? How does that happen? Well, for those of you who are still supporting Donald Trump, because we got a lot of them who are probably in the Democratic Party too, because some of y'all went down there and supported him, especially the Lieutenant Governor. No, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm sorry. But let me say this to you. You go ahead and keep supporting him. His time is coming to an end, and he's not going to support anybody. So tell him don't be shocked no more. Send him a text message. Tell him not be shocked.
Oh, they don't talk to me.
Oh.
But again, this is a realization. You had a lot of Black elected officials who supported Trump, who thought that they were going to get appointments in his administration at the beginning of this year when he was sworn in on January 20th. And I believe outside of his Secretary of HUD, what he truly believes is a Black position, because it says urban. Everyone else is non-Black.
And he's always had a Black person in that position.
Absolutely.
The brain surgeon, wasn't he in that position?
Yes.
The brain surgeon, the one who was the most brilliant, he was in that position before the person that's in there now. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, and continuing on the line of craziness from Trump, as Congress wraps up, there is no, as 2025 wraps up, there has been no action on the ACA tax credits, which means that a lot of people could be in for rough times going forward. Trinidad Navarro, the Delaware Insurance Commissioner, projects that more than 50,000 Delawareans are on the ACA plan currently. And they are looking to hear from people because these tax credits help cover the lapse, right? The skyrocketing costs could cause younger, healthier people not to purchase any insurance, raising the cost further for other individuals who really need it, which makes it unattainable for them because now they can't afford it either. The federal level has no plan whatsoever. 22 million people have received enhanced subsidies under the ACA marketplace insurance premiums. And this is all set to end as the year ends. So this is very scary. And again, there was a government shutdown, the longest ever, with trying to get these credits extended. And some weak Democrats sided with the Republicans to break it because the Republicans promised that they would come back in 2 weeks and get this done before the end of the year.
No, I don't know if they, no, Kobe, I'm not too sure if they promised, because you used the right words, you said some dumb Democrats, but I don't know if, now you correct me, I don't think that they promised they would work on and get something done. They promised that it would get some attention, that it would be, that a vote would happen on it. They didn't say they was going to work through it. And matter of fact, the House didn't even say they would even, he said, I'm not promising.
He said he's not doing it.
So that would have been enough for me to say, oh, we're not going to open this government up at this point. So I don't just, the Republicans were smarter than you Democrats in that one.
I think you have some common sense that others do not. But your former state's Democratic senator was the one leading the charge there when John Fetterman, to get those Democrats to flip and open up.
Don't bring up John Fetterman to me, because he's the epitome of crazy. And I'm sorry, I liked him, and I liked him on a state level. But John is I think when his wires in his brain went crazy, he never recuperated, because he's just becoming something. He want a name for himself. And he want his own identity, and it's not working, and it's on the backs of people who really need help. And in Pennsylvania, he's gonna see. I think he got another 4 years, I think, on his, because he just got reelected. But he's gonna see, because this is gonna be really a bad day. But I'm glad to know that a lot of the people who are affected by ACA are people from those red states. It's gonna move it along better. And then Trump saying, put the money in the pockets of the people. You ain't gonna be able to get that done within the next 30 days.
Right.
So this is just going to be interesting, and I'm looking forward to them solving it, because I don't want nobody to have to hurt.
I hope. But what's, they was willing to starve people. They're willing to allow people to go sick. This administration is showing you exactly who they are, and I hope people listen in these midterms. And I believe Fetterman's up in 28.
Is it 28?
Yep.
Okay.
So he has 3 more years.
Okay.
And it's a presidential year. So again, early retirement for him.
Absolutely. And, well, I don't know if it's early. We still leave. Wish we can get me impeach him because that's where I want to be.
But yeah, that's where we're at now. And again,
do you think the speaker is going to lose his job?
Oh yeah, I think that the House in 2026 will flip.
Okay, you do.
I am 90% sure that the House will flip. I feel comfortable saying that right now. The Senate is still going to be very close. Fundraising has been good for candidates. I think with more things going on that is being led by the Republicans, as long as people could control the narrative, I believe we could get to that 50-50 split. It would still be Republican control because of the vice president. But we are moving in the right direction.
Gotcha.
But 2026 is a very long year. So we'll see.
All right.
But just, again, this has been a rough year for a lot of people, a lot of up and downs throughout the year as we close out 2025. I believe this is our last show of the year.
It is. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that's true.
Again, I just wanted to say Happy New Year's to everyone, but also as we close out this year, I hope that 2026 is better for each and every one of you, for this nation as well, too. I hope that some way, somehow, someone reaches down and knocks the president upside his head and knocks some common sense into him. And we see a more compassionate government in 2026. I highly doubt it, but...
I can see it happening, and I'm glad you didn't say, I don't want God to take him away, but I want God to smack him a little bit so he can understand that this is humanity that he really loves. I am really shocked that Trump has been able to do some of the things he's been able to do. The Supreme Court just did a decision, though, where it didn't go in his favor. I think that they made, and they were the justices that he kind of appointed. So I'm thinking that maybe people are starting to realize his time has come. We gave him his fanfare and some of his retribution for what they thought the Democrats were doing to him. But I really do, and I hope the Democrats learned that when you're in power, make stuff happen. Don't be sitting back waiting like what Garland did. It was horrible. Trump wouldn't be president right now if Garland would have done his job.
Yep.
And I don't care. I'm saying it. I'm here to represent it. I want to apologize. I'm not talking about the current lieutenant governor when I said went to the Republican thing. I want to just say that for the record. I wasn't talking about the current lieutenant governor. I'm talking about the former one who ran against Matt Myers. That governor. That's the lieutenant governor. I don't say names. I just want to say it like that. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're just going to have a couple things we want to wrap up for the year. And we'll be right back.
Christopher Holton. I'm very active. It was a Saturday morning. Normally I go for my normal walk.
With no warning, Chris suffered a near-fatal heart attack. But thankfully, Brian Buckley, a bystander, saw him collapse and rushed to help.
He did this big gasp for air and then just stopped. It's like I went into autopilot. It's like all that training I did back in the day around CPR just magically came out of nowhere.
Because of the CPR training that Brian received, Chris did make it and didn't die on the trail that day. CPR training provided by the American Heart Association.
Looking at your hands, these 2 hands could save a life.
Being a father, you want to be around. You want to be around for your kids.
Heart disease is America's #1 killer. To learn more about how the American Heart Association helps save lives, go to helpheart.org. Life can throw a lot at us, but what helps us through it is knowing we have a place where we feel loved, grounded, and safe. A place where we belong. A place called home. But for thousands of youth living on the streets, there's no such thing as home. Out here, it's a predatory world that can destroy lives forever. At Covenant House, we care for homeless and at-risk youth, working in communities just like yours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Here, these kids will get a shower, clean clothes, nourishing meals, and a safe place to sleep. Our caring staff teach life skills, offer stability, and encourage kids to believe in themselves so they stay off the streets for good. We're committed to giving lost, scared, and hurting children a place to go, a place to call home. To help or get help, go to
One more time. Before you wake up in the wild, in your eyes, I see a flower slowly dying.
Together with the Nature Conservancy, you have the power to make a difference. For unspoiled nature, for beautiful wildlife, and for people everywhere. Together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive.
Oh, in the wild, you're gonna make it. The moonlight is here to take you.
Our natural world needs us now. Every day, we lose more lands, waters, and the wild species that depend on them. To learn more, visit nature.org today.
We are women first, but women with disabilities last.
During a military exercise, we crashed and I broke my neck.
When I was in the Air Force, an accident changed my life. I couldn't have imagined the injustices I would face.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible. But when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
I don't know where I'd be today without access to testing. Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
And we're back. Real quickly, Kobe, we are about to close up this year, and there's a couple of things I want to talk a little bit about. My heart is really bleeding to support our unhoused population. I know they're changing the language from homeless to unhoused because there are some people who are, that's really what the issue is. The rent and everything is so unaffordable that they have to resort to living outside. But for Christmas this year, we tried our best to do all we can. Kobe, I hope that whatever they're going to do with the Palmer Center, whatever they're going to do with other areas, that we really lift our voices to say, let's take care of them. We wraparound services, whatever we have to do. We spend money on everything we want to. We criticize Trump for giving the largest tax break to the rich and won't give a little bit of money for the ACA. Well, we are kind of guilty too, because we spend all the money we want to spend on what we want to happen, like affordable housing that is not really affordable.
Yes.
But yet we won't give a dime because we say they mentally or they this and they the other. We have to find a way to treat people like they are humans. And I really am concerned that we are looking at them having the mental issues and then we're just immediately saying, well, they don't need anything. Yes, they do. They need services. And if we open up a place, whether it be the Palmer Center, whether it be whatever, they need heat for the winter. They need air conditioning for the summer. Now, I'm not saying they can stay there and sleep all day long. They need to have structure. I'm that person in the middle who's saying give them the services and hold them accountable. That's where I am. I'm not saying give them services and let them do what they want to do. Because what I saw, it's cold over there, Kobe. It's cold, and people think like, well, it's cold everywhere. No, it's the water is there. Yeah. It is cold, and some of them have to use kerosene heaters inside of tents. The fumes.
It's not good.
How is this? How can we live comfortable in our homes and just let this happen? So I hope that you will use your voice. I'm going to use mine. That we got to find a way to help our brothers and sisters who are unhoused and say, you know what, we do care. Not just on Christmas when we delivering all the stuff that we delivered. We care all year long, and we're going to get you the services. And listen, for those individuals who don't want the services, because I did hear about a rule, and you're going to have to help me be educated on that. If they say, I don't want services, we have to leave them alone. Because some of y'all liberals have got things so scary, we can't do nothing anymore. I'm always attacking y'all. But we got to figure out what that law is, because I was talking with someone about we have to provide services, and they shared with me how there's rules that once we say we want to give you services and the person says no, we have to leave them alone because it would then be considered as harassment. I don't know all the details of that. Go ahead.
So you cannot unless it's a medical emergency, you cannot involuntary serve someone. So again, if someone's having a mental health breakdown, they're in the middle of the street causing potential harm to themselves or someone else, then they can be involuntary held. Outside of that, it's your constitutional right to deny services. And
Right.
what was happening was, this wasn't a ruling here in Delaware, it was a federal ruling. But what was happening was in certain locations, people who were having issues with housing and everything were being detained and put into mental institutes, and nothing was wrong with them.
Okay.
And the only thing is they couldn't afford to go anywhere else.
Okay.
So some cities had a like sweep policy where they would come out, and if you were out on the street, you got arrested, you got put into a mental institute. That's where that ruling came from.
Okay. And we don't want to do that neither, because then we'll have a bunch of people in the middle institutions that don't really need to be there, and then
Correct.
their rights have been denied. But by the same token, we got to figure out how we're going to help. That tent city is getting larger.
Yeah.
It's getting larger. People. It started off with just a few tents. It is getting larger, and we're going to have to really. And I don't believe in Kobe taking pictures and putting it on the air, saying what we are doing or what you're doing. This Christmas, you joined us in serving that community, but I'm not going to do the picture stuff. I'm not going to do the video stuff. I want to make sure that we are behind the scenes, using our power, using our voices to help that community. That community need us. It's a voiceless community, and it seems like people really don't care, because it's easy to look over a person who's not a part of your kinship. So I'm hopeful that we'll do that. This year have been a good year, Kobe. You stuck with me the whole year, and I'm thankful to you. I'm thankful for all that you've done. You had an opportunity to win an election after people kept trying to keep you from winning. They can't hold a good man down. Isn't that just wonderful? So that was some of the highlights I wanted to bring up. Is there any other highlights that you may want to bring up?
That's all I have for this year.
Well, that's all you have this year. You ain't said nothing yet. But I will say this too, then, since you don't have any more of the Epstein files. I think this is going to be the key to tear Trump down. I really do, because he's really hiding something, and the cover up is starting to become a problem. And because many of those young people who were violated know more, they're going to want to know why things are not out. And that's why they're starting to put things out more. But the more they put out, the more you see Trump hand all over it. He was on that plane 8 times in a couple of years. That means he's been doing some stuff, and they can talk all they want to talk. And Bill Clinton said, "Bring it on," because what Bill Clinton is saying, I may have been in the hot tub, but I wasn't in the hot tub with a little child.
Right.
Well, and that's the difference. If you're in a hot child with a bunch of hookers, I don't know if that's, I'm not going to say that politically. I apologize. But if you, that's your business.
Right.
We weren't asking for a pastor, although some of them there too. But we weren't asking for a pastor. We was asking for a president at that point.
Right.
So I'm more concerned about those who were pedophiles, who hurt our children, and I want to know who did it and why did they do it. Well, Kobe, we've had a good show today. This is our last show of the year.
Yes.
Thank all of you for watching us year after year. And I want to thank all of you who constantly say, when we're not here, where are y'all? Y'all ain't leaving, because this is how it is. Me and Kobe going to keep coming back. We're going to keep getting on politicians' nerves, although he's a politician. I am not. But at the end of the day, he's going to keep speaking truth to power, and we're going to keep moving in the right direction, believing that everything is going to work itself out. Kobe, again, for the last time, is there anything else you got on your tag?
That is all. Hopefully everyone has a very happy and safe New Year's, and I will see y'all in 2026.
Well, I will say the same thing. Have a happy and a safe New Year, and I'll see you in 2026. I do ask that you come to East Zion Fair on the 31st, though. If you come to East Zion Fair on the 31st, we're going to have a full blown out service, and immediately following that service, we're going to have food for everybody. The black eyed peas going to be cooked. The greens are going to be cooked. The cornbread is going to be cooked. We're going to do it the old school way. We believe we're the big church with the small feel, and we want you to come back and have an after celebration. We're not gonna have an after party. We're gonna have an after celebration, so that we bring in the new year and we're gonna have a good time. So please join us next Thursday night, this coming Thursday night at East Zion Fair at 9 o'clock. We're gonna have our praise team singing. We're gonna have our choir singing. We're gonna have the Holy Soldiers, the Daughters of Zion is gonna be dancing and stepping. I will be preaching, and it's going to be grand. And when the clock hit 12, we're gonna leave church and we're gonna come over to the fellowship hall, and we just gonna eat. Do you eat black eyed peas?
I do not.
You do not.
I do not.
You're missing out. You're missing out. Do you? Let me see. Greens. Do you eat greens?
I do. Yeah.
You do eat greens?
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna have to have some of the passive greens so you can tell everybody what a real
right
cook
now.
tastes like. And I'm trying to think what else we're gonna have. Well, we're gonna have breakfast food too. So
Okay.
we're gonna have the pancakes. We're gonna have the waffles and all that good stuff too. But I just want there's certain things you gotta have. You gotta have the black eyed peas. The old folks say for reasons like the greens is gonna make sure you have your money all year. Whatever it is. But we thank you so very much. Until the next time we get together. God bless.
Take care, y'all.
You've been watching The Source with host Dr. C.T. Curry and co-host Kobe Owens. Tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes.